Mute it.
Game 2 of the playoffs is upon us after a dominating game from the Pompano Beach Tide against the Sebastian Makos, 20-1, advancing to the second round. Will we see that again here with the Pembroke Panthers against the Bahamas? Only time will tell. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome from the broadcast booth. I'm your color commentator, Armani DePaul, here with my partner, play-by-play analyst, Antonio Aponte. Antonio, that first game that we saw, where the Tide just dominated the game. I mean, from the first inning, although we didn't even get to the seventh inning, they had to call a mercy rule. What did you think about the performance we saw from that team?
Well, Armani, it was just an absolute domination by the Tide on both sides of the plate. With the bats, they were able to, like you said, produce 20 runs. A home run really settled it in the top of the fifth for the Tide. Pim on the mound was spectacular. 5 innings, gave up only 1 run in 5 innings of work, and had, I think, over 4 or 5 strikeouts. Just great work by the Tide to come in as a 5th seed, take down the 4th seed at Makos, and super excited to see them later on this week against the Cobras.
And speaking of the Cobras, what do you think that does for the Cobras? I mean, yeah, they were a higher seed than the Tide, but after that performance that we saw, I mean, do you think they got to be nervous?
I don't think you can be nervous heading into a playoff game. For the Cobras, they were the 2 seed, and they were the 2 seed for the reason. They did good the whole regular season. 1 game shouldn't define a team's entire year. And for the Cobras, they just have to come in and do what they've done all year, and that's win ball games. For the Tide, they have to do what they've been doing the past couple of ball games, and that's catch momentum quickly and get ahead in the game and ride that wave, ride that tide until the 5th or 7th inning.
Well, like you said, 1 game shouldn't decide your entire season, but it did do it for the Sebastian Makos, eliminated after this first game. What was the problem with the Makos? They came in as the favorite because they were the 4th seed compared to the 5th seed. However, they just got no momentum rolling, and the name of the game was just mistakes on mistakes. Do you just think that team wasn't prepared?
It just looked like it was a different team that we saw today. The Makos just didn't have it from the get-go. They weren't able to get out ahead on the Tide. They quickly fell behind 2-0 in the game after the first, and it was smooth sailing for the Tide after that. Errors definitely killed the team, but it's not easy to win a ball game when you only score 1 run through 5 innings, and they were held at bay.
Well, that's true. Like we said, the Pompano Beach Tide advances to round 2, eliminating the Sebastian Makos. Let's take a look at the teams that are going to be making up this game, game number 2 of the night, where we got the Pembroke Panthers going up against the Bahamas. Same deal as the first. This is an elimination game, meaning if you win, you advance. If you lose, you go home. There are no second chances. So you want to compete for a championship, you want to keep advancing, you need to do well in this game, and you need to win. Let's take a look at each team and really see what they might be able to bring to the table. Let's start off with the Panthers. What do you think their shots are?
Well, they're going to be up against Evan Mobley. He's a Florida Southern commit for the Bahamas, and the kid lights it up. I know he's been up to about 92 or 93 off the mound this year, and if the Panthers are going to win this ball game, they need to jump on Mobley because he has been by far the best pitcher for the Bahamas this year, Armani. So the game plan for the Panthers is simple. Get on base, try to get through Mobley as quickly as you can, and get into the Bahamas bullpen that just hasn't been as good as their starting pitcher that we're going to see today.
And what about the Bahamas? I mean, what do you think they need to do to keep their championship hopes alive going into their first game of the playoffs?
Well, as you know, the Bahamas have been scorching hot this year, Armani. They came in, starting off this summer, they were one of the bottom tier teams. And as of the past week or two, they have caught fire, and they found themselves in a 3 seed. They just need to keep playing the way they've been playing. If they're able to limit the mistakes, Armani, pitch the way Evan can pitch, and keep up that red-hot offense that the Bahamas bats have been swinging, I think the Bahamas can win a ball game today.
And speaking of which, we will go over the starting lineups for each team, and we'll start off with the Pembroke Panthers. Batting first is going to be the number 15, Azzy Lopez. Then being the second batter is going to be the number 8, Anderson Matos. Number 13, Jorge Hernandez will be the third batter going into the lineup. And then the fourth one belongs to the 24, Aaron Xaviera. Our fifth batter will be the number 22, Arthur Quinones. Number 6 will be the 0 of Ray Perito. Number 7 will be Julian Gaston. His number is 1. Eighth batter will be the number 10 of Nate Sanchez. Ninth batter will be, again, number 9, Antonio Martinez. And then the 10th batter will be the 00 of Kelvin Feliciano.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're all set. It's inning number 1 here for the Panthers. Like my partner said, coming up to the dish to start the game for the Panthers will be number 15, Azzy Lopez. Azzy will be the first one to take his shot against Evan Mobley. And the first pitch from Mobley taken for a ball. And folks, we are underway for game 2 of the playoffs. And quickly, Mobley falls behind. It's 2-0 now to Lopez. The Panthers are a team, Armani, that has faced a lot of adversity this summer. They've gone through a coaching change. They've had some ups and downs, but they find themselves here in the playoffs with a chance to advance to the next round.
I mean, we see that in every sport where there is a team that just goes through adversity throughout the regular season. You don't think they have a shot, but then they defy all odds and then they make it to the playoffs. So, for what you're telling me, the Panthers would probably be one of the best stories to win the championship this year.
They would indeed, Armani. The 2-2 from Mobley. That's going to be taken for strike number 3 on the outside corner. And just like that, we have out number 1 for the Bahamas. So, following the strikeout to Azzy Lopez, stepping up to the box, number 8, Anderson Matos. Pitch number 1 is taken for a ball here. There's that fastball taken for ball number 2. Matos ahead in the count now, 2-0. And that's going to be the name of the game for Mobley, Armani. He needs to get ahead in the count for against these Panthers hitters, as that 2-0 pitch is squared the other way, but caught by the right fielder for out number 1. For Mobley, he has to command that strong fastball he has ahead early in the count to get ahead in order to keep these Panthers hitters at bay and keep them guessing.
Well, we saw what a dominating pitcher can do for a team. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why the Tide was able to just dominate against the Makos. I mean, their pitcher, Pim, he was flawless pretty much throughout the entire game, minus that one run you mentioned. But at that point, it was pretty much a throwaway run. You can say that. So a dominant pitcher, and like you said, Mobley's one of the best pitchers in this league. So with that being said, he needs to keep the momentum going throughout these playoffs as well.
Well, Mobley once again falls behind in the count. It's 2-0 to George Gonzalez here. George, broken bat. That bloop single will fall as George will pick up a single in exchange for a broken bat. So, good piece of hitting there, as George uses all of his bat on that one, but gets to first to keep the top of the first going. And that's going to bring to the box number 24, Aaron Xaviera. So with 2 men out and a man on first, Xaviera is faced with the task of trying to keep this inning going for the Panthers. Again, the Panthers come in today's ball game as the 6th seed. They are looking to pull off the upset against the Bahamas. Xaviera ahead in the count now, following the first pitch ball. It's 1-0. We are all set here. Mobley comes set. Deals the pitch. Fastball. That one's going to be taken for a strike by Chavarria.
And Mobley needs to keep this momentum. I mean, he already has a strikeout, and that's his fourth. That's currently his fourth strike of the night so far. So, you know, he needs to keep the momentum going. He needs to get these guys out and out as fast as possible.
Like I said, Armani, I think the big key for the winning for the Bahamas today is to keep Mobley in this game. And if he can continue to fill up the zone like he's been doing so far early in this game, the Bahamas will have themselves a really good chance to win this ball game. Good job by Mobley there to get that fastball over for strike 2. It's a 1-2 count now to Chavarria. So the 1-2. Mobley set and deals. Swung on and missed. And that's going to end the inning for the Panthers. The Bahamas work around the 2-out hit. We head to the bottom of the first. No score after one half inning of baseball.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are currently at the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a good look through the starting lineup of the Bahamas. The first batter is going to be Malik Berrien. Our second batter will be Ferran Moss. Third batter is going to go to Leo Garcia, with the fourth going to Tommy Ramos. Our fifth batter will be Dwayne McKee. Sixth batter will be Darren Russell. Seventh batter will be Evan Mobley, with the eighth being Jason Moss. Our ninth batter will be Solomon Grayson, and the 10th and final batter in the lineup will be Calvin Martin. Richard Calibro will be pitching.
Thank you, Armani. So for the Bahamas, Malik Berrien will step up. He'll be the first to deal with Richard Caballero, the pitcher for the Panthers tonight. Richard gets the nod to start off the playoffs here for the Panthers. And we are ready for the first pitch in the bottom of the first. That's going to be taken for ball number 1. So the 1-0 here from Richard. That's going to be swung on and hit towards the center fielder, who's going to make the grab. We got one away here in the bottom of the first.
Already one out. Just with the second pitch in, we already got one out. So
Quick work of the first hitter there, huh?
that's right.
So, following the fly out to the center fielder, now batting for the Bahamas, Farron Moss. Caballera is set and deals. Taken for strike number 1, says the home plate umpire. Moss is a quick and speedy left-handed bat in the Bahamas lineup, looking to be the first runner on base for the Bahamas. And he quickly falls behind 0-2. Caballero gets 2 fastballs in for strikes and is ahead in this count, 0-2. Quickly set and ready to deal the pitch. The 0-2. That curveball is too high, says the home plate umpire. It's 1-2 now. That pitch is swung on and hit towards the first base line, but it is foul. So the count remains 1-2. For the Bahamas, they enter today's ball game with a 12-11 record in the regular season. The Panthers were 9-12 to close out their regular season. The 1-2 fastball, that pitch is fouled straight back. The count will remain at 1-2. Moss putting together a pretty good at bat to run up the pinch count here on Caballero.
And one thing I like to talk about, just really in any sport, is just the mind games. What the pitcher is trying to play the mind games with the batter and vice versa. I mean, I feel like you're seeing that right here, right now.
Both men are fighting. Caballero really wants us out. He's going to run all the way to the fence to try to make the grab, but that ball will go out of play. So the count will still remain 1-2 here, as Caballero is working hard to try to get the second out here in the bottom of the first. We are all set here. Caballero gets back on the rubber. Moss is back in the box, and we are ready. The pitch. That one is put into play. The first baseman, Arthur Quinones, will take it himself for out number 2. So with 2 outs in the inning, Leo Garcia will step up to the plate. Leo will try to continue this first inning for the Bahamas. Curveball taken for strike number 1. So for Caballero, he's establishing that off-speed pitch early, goes to it for strike 1 here against Leo, and actually goes back to it and quickly gets ahead now. It's 0-2. Caballero is set, moving quickly, trying to retire the side. Off-speed pitch, hit to the shortstop, who makes a great play just to keep it in the infield, but no throw. Now that's going to be an infield single, and this inning will continue. Tommy Ramos will now step up to the dish. The number 4 hitter for the Bahamas was featured in this year's All-Star game as well as Home Run Derby. Unfortunately for Tommy, he wasn't able to make it out of the first round, but did hit 1 out in his Home Run Derby appearance. Looking to keep the inning going here, Tommy faces Caballero for the first time this playoffs.
Right now, you might think that both teams kind of look about the same, but I think that the other team has the way better pitcher. He was already able to get 2 strikeouts on the day so far, whereas right now, Richard Caballero, he hasn't really been able to get any strikeouts. I mean, all of them have been from just the players on the other players catching the ball. So right now, I would give the advantage towards the Bahamas.
So the count's 1-1 to Tommy Ramos. Caballero is set and deals. That pitch just outside, says the home plate umpire. Fastball missed. today's pitching matchup is in fact two Florida college commits. As we previously stated on the stream, Mobley is committed to Florida Southern, and Caballero is in fact committed to Florida National University. So following the pickoff, Caballero dealt the pitch that Ramos fouled straight back.
And that almost launches into the broadcast booth as that.
That was close.
Yeah.
So it's 2-2 now. Ramos looking to keep the inning alive. Caballero looking to get back in the dugout. As the clouds start to form over Northeast High. And the 2-2. Curveball swung on and missed. Caballero picks up his first strikeout of the night. And the 2-out base hit will not come around to bite the Panthers. After one complete inning, we have no score.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, we are now at the top of the second inning where Arthur Quinones will be beginning the inning pitching. Hitting. Evan Mobley will be pitching.
And Mobley starts off Quinones with a strike. And just like that, Mobley gets ahead. First a fastball, then gets Quinones to swing over a curveball. It's 0-2.
I like what Mobley's doing. He's trying to get him out, and he's trying to get him out early. Get these innings out as fast as possible. Don't give the other team a chance to even score.
That's right, and he's working very quickly. That ball is hit very well. That's going to fall all the way to the wall. Quinones is going to try to get himself a triple. And he will successfully get to third. So a 2-strike triple for Quinones. That's going to bring up to the plate Ray Prieto.
So currently up to the plate is the 0 of Ray Prieto.
Prieto's a good contact hitter. He's been pretty good all season. Quinones is a great hitter, very disciplined hitter, hard to get out. as proven by that 2-strike triple. A lot of triples on this field.
Mobley gets ready to deal, and the ball is in the air, and that is going to go for a foul. Completely outside of the field entirely. Mobley deals.
It's a great block by the catcher. And as you just mentioned, ball going out of this park. For those at home who don't know this field, this is a very spacious park, has a lot of room in foul territory.
Mobley gets ready to deal again. The ball is in the air going towards the right. And it is immediately caught. So already 1 out in the inning, but the number 22, Arthur Quinones, takes it all the way home for a run. So taking advantage of all the turmoil going on with that play from Prioto, he gets the Panthers their first run of the night. Now up to the plate is the number 1, Julian Gaston. Mobley deals. That will go for a ball. Mobley deals once more. That will go for a strike. I feel like Mobley needs to make sure not to let too much, and really just not exert himself too much, because he's been putting forth a lot of strength, a lot of effort so far very early in the game. He needs to keep some once we get towards the later portions of this game as he gets the second strike for Gaston. Mobley deals, and it's in the air, but it goes for a foul.
Now, where did you say this pitcher was committed to before? Was he Florida Southern?
Yes, he was from Florida Southern.
Yeah, he pitched great. You know, our team, the Makos, he kind of shut us down up in Sebastian earlier in the season. Very good pitcher, hits his spots.
And that ball goes in the air, and it goes to the shortstop, and he throws all the way to first base. And that will be a single.
I think the throw took the first baseman off the bag just a little bit. Umpire said he didn't keep his foot on the bag.
Next up to the plate is number 10, Nate Sanchez. Mobley's trying to make sure that Gaston doesn't try to steal a base from him. That'll go for a ball. I will say Mobley's been very aggressive very early on in this game, and again, I like that. You want to get them out quick, but don't exert yourself too much, because you do want to save some for the later portion of this race. As that ball, it is immediately caught.
Nope, third baseman just missed it. Tipped off his glove, went to left field.
Excuse me.
It's hard to see up here in the booth
Yeah.
at this time of night with the sun in our eyes, but just tipped off his glove, went to the left fielder. So what Mobley's doing here is he's been a little bit up in the zone. Like you were saying, he's kind of trying to go at him a little too hard, trying to blow it by these guys. So he's a little up in the zone. He's really effective when he's working off his off speed, and then he stays low in the zone.
There's a bunt attempt by number 9, Antonio Martinez. That
Haven't seen too many of those this summer.
No, we haven't.
Not a lot of bunting.
That input was from Coach Derek. Coach Derek was from the Makos. We appreciate you tuning in and joining the broadcast tonight. Coach,
Yep.
Give us your thoughts about the season. You're the only team still from the Treasure Coast. We really appreciate you having a presence here in the Charles Johnson Summer League. As that bunt attempt hit back towards the pitcher, Mobley makes a great play to get the lead out.
Yeah,
and
never bunt it back to the pitcher. But
that will go as a 1-5, ladies and gentlemen, as that will be out number 2 this inning. So with 2 outs and a man on first and second, up to the dish is Kelvin Feliciano. Kelvin will try to knock home the second run for the Panthers. But like I was saying, Coach, you guys are still the only team remaining from the Treasure Coast area.
right. So those of people at home don't remember last year, the league was based out of the Treasure Coast because Charles Johnson's from Fort Pierce, Florida, and that's where the league was based out of. But the park that we were playing at was very problematic with lightning delays. Like their detector is super sensitive. You had a lot of, if it rains for 5 minutes, they would cancel games. So it was like a big headache. So moving down here and this high school helping out and everybody pitching in, and it's been a real blessing down here. My team stayed based out of Sebastian, and teams came up. We played, again, thanks to Sebastian High School for letting us use the field. So, yeah, we stayed based out of there. A lot of my players are from Indian River County area, and we may actually have another team out of there. I've had a lot of interest. Like, you know, you can only have so many players on a team. You got 9 starting positions, so it might just be easier to base another team out of there. So the league's definitely growing, and from last year was a blast. This year was much more fun. I think it was, you know, we learned a lot of things last year.
And we're going to take a quick break here as a stolen base attempt is going to be a ball thrown into the outfield. One's going to score. And another missed throw will bring in 2 runners for the Panthers. So the Panthers jump ahead to an early 3-0 lead following the throwing error by the Bahamas catcher. It's now 3-0 Panthers in the top of the second.
You might be able to get away with these errors in the regular season, but this is the playoffs. And most importantly, if you lose this game, you don't get a second shot. You go home, so you cannot have these kinds of errors. We saw what momentum, we saw what errors did in the previous game. I mean, like I said, the Tide, I beat it to everyone's head, but the Tide won 20-1. I'm not saying the Panthers are going to do the same thing, but you cannot have these kinds of errors or else we are going to get the same result once again.
Bahamas definitely have to clean it up here moving forward this game.
Yeah, that's not a very smart 2-out throw, right? You let the guy was already there. Catcher tries to throw it to third, throws it away, gives up 2 runs when you have 2 outs, and your pitcher's doing fairly well. I mean, you're just getting some grounders and fly balls. You know what I'm saying? So you got to play a little bit smarter here sometimes, especially like you said in the playoffs.
So back to what you were saying, Derek.
Yep.
Wow. That pitch is going to be called strike 3. It looked a little bit inside. We're going to swing it back to the booth so we can talk with Derek. And there he is. Coach Derek from the Makos.
Yep.
So, continuing with what you're saying, you guys are the only team in the Treasure Coast.
Correct.
We now have a lot more interest up there.
Yeah, I think I'm one of only 2 coaches that returned from last year. So, like I said, most of my players were based out of the Treasure Coast. So, we just figured it was easier to just stay up there, play some of the games. Plus, it helped with fields. You'd send a team up for a doubleheader, and then that way you were able to play all the other games on one field instead of having to get 2 fields down here. So it worked out well for us. I think what worked out well for the league. Yeah, like for those people who watched before, again, I apologize for our team. The game before, all 4 of our POs did not show up. Like, and 2 of it was like 2 guys weren't scheduled to show up because I thought the other 2 POs were going to pitch. One guy called in sick, and the other guy thought the other guy, who's a stud, he didn't even need to be here. So it turned into one of those things. So bad luck for us. And
unfortunate events for the Makos.
Yeah. I probably should have pitched. Probably would have done that. Anyway, so so the league, I think the league keeps growing. I think last year we had 4 or 5 teams. This year we had 5, 6, something like that. Yeah, 6 teams. Mara's doing a great job. Like I said, a great facility down here to be based out of. So look forward to next year. And like I said, I think we might have 2 teams based out of the Treasure Coast next year. I have another coach up there. He's got a group of players. He was asking me about playing on our team. I'm like, I'm already loaded. Like most of my guys have already committed to coming back next year. things like that. So, but it'll be interesting. The most difficult thing, as you saw or you've seen the whole year, is pitching. So we kind of need more pitching. The problem with pitching is if you're a starter at college, you're going to take the summer off to rest. So the guys you're getting are guys who didn't pitch a lot, or just trying to get reps. And then there's older, more established leagues all over the country. So as a new program, you're going to slowly build up your pitching. And we saw that this year. We got more pitching this year than we had last year. And next year, everything's just looking up. So fantastic league. And oh, by the way, you cannot beat the price of this league. I know I've coached in other college summer leagues. Mario's made this the most affordable, best product around.
We're going to go back to the ball game as we are ready for the bottom of the second. Dwayne Mackey will step up to the box for the Bahamas. He's going to face Richard Caballero, who was able to work around a 2-out single for the Panthers. Now, Coach, I heard that you have a story for us about your time with the Yankees.
My Mario loves my New York Yankees story, so I'll set the tide here. It's 1987. I think they're playing at that time. I think they were playing the California Angels. Oh, there's the pitch to Mackey. It's high for a ball, but so I'm up at college in Jersey, and so I got a college prank. So I got dared. It's kind of a fraternity thing. They dared me to go on the field at the Yankee Stadium. So we get there 2 hours early. They're doing BP and infield. I know someone works there at the Yankees, so I get a Yankees uniform. I thought it was like a high number, like in the 70s. So I just kind of get on the field, and I start shagging fly balls, fielding ground balls, and a couple of people think I'm just a rookie who got called up. There's a guy, third baseman, Mike Pagliarulo at the time. He came up to me and he said, "Hey, Rook, what's your name?" And I just told him flat out, I said, "Hey, man, I play college baseball here locally. I'm doing this on a dare. Just to be honest with you," he goes, "All right, man." He's like, "You got a lot of cojones." So he's like, he said, "Just hang by me and you'll be fine." He said, "Don't talk to Dave Winfield." He said he's kind of a jerk. Right? He's telling me a couple of guys like stay away from Willie Randolph. He says he'll get real moody. Don't go anywhere near second base. So I'm fielding ground balls. I'm doing well. He's even going, I can play. So he's like, I was a college shortstop. So he's like, "Man, you can play a little bit." I almost got to hit until the managing staff, I stayed away from Piniella. I think Piniella was there at the time. Whoever the head coach was, I stayed away. But one of the assistant coaches came up and said, "Hey, Rook, I don't have you on my list. Who are you? Why'd they call you up? Who'd they send down?" And so I started, and then Pags talked to him, and he goes, "Man, just let him get some hits, man." And he goes, "Dude, he was talking to me. He was like, we were thinking about where we were going to start you because how well I was fielding the ball." Right? He's like,
wow.
He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were thinking about like DH and Pags and putting me at third. Yeah, so it was pretty funny. And then I think Gene Michaels was there, like an assistant or a general manager. And he said, "Kid, come over here." He's like, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And then he kind of knew me. I grew up in the area, and I was like an all-state player. And then the other thing that happened was then Al Leiter. Al Leiter, pitcher, pitched 20 years in the pros. I played with him through when he was older, and I was real young in high school. I actually broke up one of his no-hitters.
Oh, wow.
And he come over and goes, "Muller," right? So it's like, I know this guy. So that's probably the only reason I didn't really get in more trouble. So they kind of said, "Hey, great kid, but now you got to scram."
Well, you never know where an opportunity, anything can happen at any given time. I think you just showed us that with this story.
I thought I was going to get out there for 30 seconds and be toast. I was out there for about an hour and a half, fielding ground balls, hanging out with Yankee players. So you could never do that nowadays. So kids at home, don't try that. You go straight to jail. You know what I'm saying? So that's my story.
Well, thank you so much for that. As Caballero gets Dwayne Mackey to strike out to lead off the bottom of the second. And that's going to bring up to the dish Darren Russell.
Well, guys, you guys are doing a great job. I appreciate you, all the streaming, all the videos you've done all year. It's been fun.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that.
Yeah. And so, who do you guys get? You get the winner of this game as the Cobras?
The Cobras get the winner of last game.
Oh,
the winner of this game is going to go up against the winner of tonight's games, ladies and gentlemen, will go up against the Bums. The Beach Bums. The one-seeded Beach Bums, will play the winner of this game. We have a comment. Carrie Mobley. Carrie, loving the commentary. Well, thank you, Carrie, for the kind words. We appreciate you tuning in tonight.
Well, just for that name alone, the Beach Bums, that automatically should guarantee them the #1 seed, even though they have it already.
Oh, yeah.
It should.
The Beach Bums.
Hey, who got the best uniforms? I kind of like the Beach Bums, but those Tide uniforms were pretty sharp.
I like the Tide with the baseball
with the baseball
and the wave on it.
There, yeah, they're not so bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, comment down in the comment section below. Who do you think has the best jerseys in the league?
I know it's not ours. Everybody asks me, like, so whoever did this, see how we have this black band on here?
Oh, come
Everyone
on.
asks me who died.
Oh, come on. That's not that.
Everyone asks me who died.
Let's show the fans. Show the fans.
Everybody, you know how people wear the black band when someone dies, like in an organization? So everyone asks me who, all season, who died? Like, come on now.
So, with one out, Darren Russell is going to walk, and that will bring up to the plate the pitcher, Evan Mobley. But,
will he be as aggressive hitting as he is pitching?
That'll be the question. Folks, if you're just tuning in, Evan Mobley is the pitcher for the Bahamas. He's also up to the plate. He's a two-way in today's ball game. He's pitched quite well for the Bahamas. Unfortunately, a couple of base hits and a throwing error has opened up the scoring for.
See, this is the thing: is the Panthers were struggling like most of the season, finding their identity, and they kind of got hot here at the end. And I think a lot of teams who've played them a bunch of times and beat them a bunch of times, kind of taken them lightly. You know what I'm saying? And they're a pretty solid club. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to think, they actually did a little bit of a coaching change, correct? And the new coaching staff came in. I think really tightened them up, and they've been playing solid baseball since about 3-4 weeks ago.
Well, Antonio told me with the Pompano Beach Tide on how they were doing well towards the end of the regular season. We saw how that end of the season momentum translated towards the playoffs. It looks like it's doing the same over here. I mean, the end of the season, really for any sport, whether it's baseball, racing, football, basketball, you want to be hot towards the end. You can be hot towards the beginning, but then once you cool off and teams know how you operate, it's over for you. You might as well be out in the first round. So you want to be hot towards the end. And right now, we were seeing it with the Panthers, and we saw the last game with the Pompano Beach Tide.
And we're going to take a quick break here. We want to shout out Mark Witten. Mark says, I want to give a big shout out to all of my RBI players that are representing Rays RBI Tampa. Shout out to all of those gentlemen who are playing tonight for the Bahamas. Seems to be a break in the action. The skipper for the Panthers came out and said something to the umpires, and that has sparked something with the umpire and the Bahamas coach, Donovan Cox. Donovan does not seem happy. I'm not sure what was exchanged between the gentlemen. Once we find out what happened, ladies and gentlemen, we will let you know. But we are back, and we're ready for the first pitch to Evan Mobley. That will be taken for ball one. Caballero once again went to the off-speed pitch.
From the body language of the coach talking to the umpire, I think he was talking about the pitcher maybe possibly balking and them not calling it. Because he kept saying that he was kind of moving his shoulder.
We're not sure what the case was, but whatever it is, we're back in action now.
We talked a lot about Mobley's pitching, but Caballero should get almost the same amount of recognition, at least for this game so far. He's already got 2 strikeouts on the night so far, so he's been doing fairly solid.
And he picks up the ball there, makes a great catch, and throws it over to second for the fielder's choice. But Evan Mobley will reach first for the Bahamas. And that will bring up to the plate Jason Moss with 2 outs and a man on first. So Moss is set, Caballero set. The first pitch, foul ball, straight back, right towards the booth. Luckily for us, the fence caught it, or else one of us would have had to make the catch there, huh?
I would have taken that ball home. I would have told you that. I can use some better balls compared to what I have right now.
That's what she said.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Or someone was going to say that.
Caballero throws over to first. We have another comment, another shout out. Lenice Roll. Shout out to all the Bahamas players, especially Ernie Barr, Glendon Ingraham, and Darren Russell. That pitch taken for a strike. The catcher makes the throw.
Best
Evan Mobley.
part about that, as soon as he threw it, he started walking back to the dugout. He knew
the catcher knew he had Evan Mobley beat.
That was awesome.
So Mobley gets caught trying to steal second. That's going to end the inning. And we will head to the top of the third. The score, 3-0. We're going to bring it back to the booth.
All right, I'm going to tell you my last story because I know Mario wants me to tell you this one. So I'm at spring training, and it's the Marlins playing the Cleveland Indians. This is up at Vieira, Florida, when the Marlins were up there. So Alvaro Espinoza, I don't know if you know him, but he was playing third base for the Indians, a former Yankee player. I'm a Red Sox guy, so I love giving former Yankee guy trouble. So I'm calling this guy. I'm just kind of on him the whole game. He made a couple errors. I'm telling him, just give me the glove. I'll field for you. And you can go bunt because you're the best bunter in baseball. I called him the best minor league player in baseball, right? He's been a pro for like 10 years. I said, you're the best minor league player in baseball. So I keep doing this, right? I'm getting laughs, so I keep going. And in between innings, the guy walks right over at me. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to curse me out, take a swing at me. He's going to do something, right? So he comes over to me and he goes, he's like, hey man, he goes, I don't come harass you at your job at Burger King. He said, can you cut me some slack? So I was like, oh man, the whole crowd was like, ah. So it was pretty funny. And then, so then he says that everybody's done laughing. I'm like, oh. I was like, I tip my hat. I'm like, good one. I'm like, hey, can I get the ball? He looks at me like I'm crazy, right? Next inning, he comes and gives me the baseball. So I thought that was great.
And he's like, you know what? I'll throw you a bone.
So 15 years later, down at my ballpark, down in Vero Beach, I run this ballpark as an artificial turf, Fenway Field. And apparently his daughter lives right down the road.
Oh.
So he's out there with a couple of kids doing some work. And I started talking to him. And then I say, hey, man, you probably don't remember me. This was up at Vieira. I started giving you a hard time. He goes, you're the Burger King guy? He literally remembered it. And I go, holy cow, you remember it? He goes, yeah. He goes, and the reason I remember is he said, Jim Tomei told me to say that. And he's like, and I used it for the rest of my career. He goes, it was the best line ever. He goes, I totally roasted you. So I was like, oh, man, you got me. So.
Well, I might need to get a Whopper after this game as we go back to the top of the hitting lineup with Azzy Lopez getting the ball for the first pitch. We are now 1 for 1 when it comes to balls and strikes, as Mobley gets ready for his third pitch so far at the top of the third inning.
Yeah, that one is swung on and missed. The count's now 1-2 to Azzy. Azzy started off this game with a strikeout. He was the first victim for Mobley. Struck out in the top of the first. And here in the top of the third now, he's worked himself into a 2-2 count. We have some more shout-outs. William Daniel Richards says, shout out to my guy Armani
My man.
in the broadcast booth. Lenice Roll, who's pitching for the Bahamas? Lenice Evan Mobley is on the mound for the Bahamas. The full count to Lopez. That one swung on and fouled straight back over our heads here in the booth.
The amount of, I think we have more balls overhead, as many as the Tide had runs.
I think there was a joke in there.
Somewhere there. And the
That was an
3-2 is going to be taken up the middle. Azzy Lopez with a base hit. And
So the thing I like about Lopez playing him, he's a pesky hitter, super aggressive hitter. Typically not what you want for a leadoff guy, but he's a good contact guy, and he's aggressive. So sometimes, that's a guy that sets the table for the whole team.
and it worked out there as he gets on base to lead off the inning.
So what do you think would be better for playoff time? The kind of batter that he is, or kind of the opposite?
No, I think you got to get aggressive. You get into the playoffs, typically speaking, Makos notwithstanding, is you typically have your main pitchers are going into playoffs, right? And typically speaking, your better pitchers are around the plate and they try to work ahead. You start taking a lot of pitches against better pitchers, you tend to be in low-scoring games. I'm a guy I'd much rather have you go at it and start making stuff happen, and that's kind of what's happened already. They got on base, like had an error, got a guy on base, started running. Now you start creating, gaps and open stuff. So I'd much rather be aggressive than patient in a playoffs.
So after the second pitch there, it's a 2-0 count, and that one skips away from the catcher. So we now have a runner on second here with no man out and a man on second for the Panthers. Again, number 8, Anderson Makos is in the box for the Panthers.
And this is what you were talking about earlier. You cannot do these things in the playoffs, which is just little things. Can't make little errors, throw a ball around, a little pass ball, because, runners just keep moving up. So now, you've taken the double play away. Now your second baseman has to cheat to bird dog the guy at second base. That leaves a much bigger gap over on the right side of the infield. It just changes the whole dynamic.
And that one's hit towards the right side of the infield,
Out of play.
but it'll go foul for strike number 1.
The Bahamas is the 3rd seed entering this game, correct?
That's correct.
Do you think that they might have gotten too confident because they're down by 3 and it feels like it's the same? It feels like right now it's the same story as the first. The team with the higher seed has been making constant mistakes and they've been letting the lower seed take advantage. Do you think maybe there's a little bit of overconfidence?
I don't know if it's overconfidence, Armani. It might just be some nerves. It's the playoffs. And, it's
I'd
baseball.
hazard it up. I think maybe you're a little right, and I'll tell you why. I think the Bahamas kind of beat up on the Panthers during the regular season a bunch of times. So I think that familiarity, and they kind of are thinking, I think they came in a little like, we're just going to roll over these guys, right? And like you said, like I was trying to tell you, the Panthers came pretty hot, and they started being real scrappy, and this is what you're seeing. They're taking extra bases. They're doing all the little things right.
If there's a couple things I know that I want to be as a low-seeded team entering the playoffs, it's a couple things. Number 1, I want to end that season on a hot note. Even if that's winning the last game or the last 2 games, I want some momentum going in. And number 2, I want to play against a team that has been beating me down for either the entire season or even, depending on how the longevity, multiple seasons. Why? Because they are going to underestimate you, and you can take full advantage of that. We saw that in the previous game earlier today, and we're seeing that currently right now.
Yeah, and what I was telling you about the Panthers playing smart baseball, new coaching staff came in, got them tight. That was a perfect example. Last batter grounded out to the right side, but moved the runner from second to third. This is how you win in the playoffs. Yeah, he did. He went.
With that first out from Makos, now batting for the Panthers is George Gonzalez. George singled back in the first inning. And
There you go. Backside ground ball again.
the ground ball to the second baseman will score the run for the Panthers. As
And this is the Panthers. This is what they've been doing the last few weeks of the season, just playing very good fundamental baseball. And you just keep putting numbers on the board, and you're putting a lot of pressure on the other team.
this one is now a 4-0 ball game in favor of the Panthers. So with 2 outs up to the box, number 24, Aaron Chavarria.
So let me ask you a question about the league. So, you're involved in the league, been around it all year. Like, what's been your highlight so far in the league?
As a coach or as a player?
Let's say both.
I think my highlight as a coach, Derek, this is my first taste of coaching other guys. And, coming into the season, I was not really sure how the guys would respond to a guy my age. I'm a younger guy, one of the younger coaches in the league, and I wasn't sure if the guys were going to take me serious. And from the get-go, the Cobras embraced me, and I really felt like they cared for what I said, they responded to what I said, and they made me feel like I was doing a job. I wasn't a babysitter. And for me, it was just the best feeling in the world. So as a coach, just to have the trust of my guys, the trust and the confidence in me to coach a game has been the best feeling in the world. And I think as a player, just being able to get the chance to go out and pitch and do what I love. I love to compete, and just to get the chance at pitching 2-3 games for the guys and to play in fun battles against some of the other teams has really been a good experience. There's a lot of talent around the league, and to be able to pitch well against some of the top dogs in the league was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah, the team, the guys respected you. We were playing a game the other day. I remember you were like getting on the guys about going an extra base, and they're like, "No, you can't." It was there, right? Because you were like, "Oh, my bad." Like you just saw something a little different. But you can tell when guys respect, because they were just kind of laughing with you, kind of having some fun with you. They weren't like shaking your head, look at the rookie coach or something like that. So, yeah, you could tell they generally had some affection for you. So.
And that's exactly. Yeah. It's a good feeling, and I really hope a lot of the guys come back next year.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, after the 2-out walk, Arthur Quinones is in the box. He quickly fouls off the first pitch from Mobley.
Yeah, this guy's a tough out, man. This guy was he's the guy you get 2 strikes on. He battles you, wears you down, and then you get a base, and then he gets a base hit. This guy's a good hitter.
In fact, Arthur, back in the second inning, hit a triple with 2 strikes. Right. So
you've been watching a lot of games out here. Is it me, or this is just a big park? Because there's a lot of triples here.
No, this is a very big park. This is one of the bigger parks here in South Florida. Yeah. The ball does not get out. The ball will not get out the ballpark. It takes a lot to get it out here. And guys have responded well. It's a pitcher's park, but, when that ball goes to the gap, guys take every chance they get to try to stretch their doubles into triples. And that's what we saw with Arthur back in the second. That pitch is taken high for a strike, but the runner, Aaron Chavarria, tries to steal second, and he's going to get thrown out.
It's a laser show with these catchers today.
No kidding. Absolutely great throw by the catcher to catch Chavarria trying to steal a base. And with that, folks, we'll head to the bottom of the third. Panthers 4, Bahamas nothing. We're going to swing it back to the booth.
All right, last thing here before I leave. One other thing I'd like to talk to about people at home is, and you can attest to this, is we did that futures game. There's been a lot of kids here who were uncommitted or looking to switch schools, or a lot of kids, just looking to get back into baseball. And a lot of these players got picked up this year. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of kids into colleges out of this league. So, hats off to the staff, Mario, and getting some people in here, some of the other coaches in the league with their connections. I think we even got a player or 2 in the independent league, right? A couple guys that graduated, maybe possibly going in the independent league. So they did this last year, but I think they grew it this year. I think we had more coaches involved.
We had 10 colleges out there.
Yeah, we had more coaches out this year, more contacts, and from those 10, I think there's some other tentacles getting some people into places. So that's another thing with this league, even as a startup second-year league. It's just every year it's getting better and better and better, and pulling guys like you in and doing some of these things that you're doing just keeps making the league better and better. So I appreciate all the work you guys do, and
we appreciate that.
I'm looking forward to being back here again next year. So, and maybe next year I won't have to pitch so much. I've pitched 9 innings and I have a 1 ERA for a 53-year-old guy.
That's not bad.
Just saying.
Pretty solid.
Just saying.
Well,
and I'm 2 for 3, by the way. I'm 2 for 3.
Coach, thank you so much.
Right.
We appreciate having you in the
so
booth.
much, Coach.
Yep. And stay strong and go Cobras, right?
Go Cobras. That's what I like to hear.
That's it. All right, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks, man.
We're going to swing it back to the ball game. We're headed into the bottom of the third. Jason Moss will face Richard Caballero here in the bottom of the third.
Coach mentioned it, like, you know, how pitchers are so important, especially now in this league. But do you think because this field, like, what do you think with this field, like you said, being more pitcher friendly? Do you think that makes pitchers even more important, or maybe you don't need as dominant of a pitcher as you might have in another field?
I think the pitchers are always important. They're the ones that control the game. You know, if the ball game, no matter what anyone tells you, Armani, it starts with a pitcher. And if a pitcher can't throw strikes, your team's just not going to win. So the size of the park doesn't make much of a difference. But what it does do is it gives pitchers just that extra confidence to know in the back of their head that the chance that the ball is getting out is low. And what that does is it gives pitchers the opportunity to be a little bit more free when they pitch. They might make a mistake a little bit more often, but they'll know that they can get away with it because the ball's not going to get out. And I think that's the effect that a field like this has on the game. As Caballero is ahead in the count, 1-2.
The reason I ask this is because, you know, in any sport, where you play means almost as much as the players that you have on your team. You can play at a stadium that you just have either no luck or the fans are that loud that you might be a good team, but it's not going to mean anything. And same like we say here with baseball, well, yeah, pitchers are always important. Having that knowledge in the back of your mind gives you that little bit of extra confidence. So no matter what kind of team you have, I think it's almost as important, maybe not almost as important, but it is definitely up there. Maybe your top 3 or top 5 in terms of how you want to win. You want to be in the right field for your team.
That's right. And the 2-2. That ball is swung on, fouled back and out of play. That's going to hit the top of the broadcast booth, ladies and gentlemen. The count will remain 2-2 to Jason Moss.
The ball just tried to join us in the booth along with the other balls that tried joining us in the booth.
I think they want to have an interview themselves.
Well, we got a chair for them right here.
And Caballero gets Moss to swing through strike number 3. That'll be out number 1 for the Panthers.
Both pitchers, I feel like, are doing a very, very good job. You had to give me a choice on who's doing the better job right now. I'd give the slightest edge to Mobley just because I like his aggression early on, but overall, both pitchers, I mean, they're doing as best as they can, and they're doing great.
And that one is going to be hit into center field by Solomon Grayson. The center fielder tried to make a play on it, slides past the ball, and that'll allow Solomon to advance to second with a double. That will be the second hit of the night for the Bahamas. And now they have something brewing with 1 out and a man on second. Up to the plate now, Calvin Martin.
The Bahamas need to find a way to at least get 1 run in this inning because we're already halfway through the game already. We're at the bottom of the third. We have 3.5 innings to go. So the Bahamas, in my opinion, they need to at least get 1 score to keep some kind of momentum going for the last half of this game. Because if not, I mean, I like where the Panthers are right now.
The Panthers are certainly in a good spot, but the Bahamas have a chance to get on the board here and try to bring some of that momentum back here in the bottom of the third. It's still early. We've still got a lot of ball game to go. But I'm starting to get the feeling that the Bahamas need to get into the scoreboard. And that pop-up is going to fall. That's going to be a base hit for Calvin Martin. A bloop single finds a hole out in right field. So Solomon will advance to third. Calvin Martin with the base hit will flip this lineup back to the top of the order. Malik Berrien will be hitting for the Bahamas.
All eyes right now are on Solomon. This is it. This is for the Bahamas. This is it for the Bahamas to get some momentum going before we enter the second half. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not so worried about Malik right now. I'm worried about Solomon. Can he get 2? Can he get a run in? Can he get a point for his team? If he can, then I think the Bahamas have a decent shot to make a comeback. If not, then I like the Panthers going for the last half of this game.
We're going to have to see as Malik takes ball 1 from Richard Caballero. That ball is scorched. That ball was scorched. It actually hit off the pitcher's arm. It looks like it hit his glove. The ball found its way into the second baseman's glove, who flips it over to second, and they get the force out at second. But Malik Berrien will bring home a run with the fielder's choice. The score is now 4-1 in favor of the Panthers, but the Bahamas get their first run of the night.
Great job by Solomon throughout that entire play. He just bolted. He did not stop at all. He went full speed the whole 90 yards. He even bumped into one of them towards the end. So great job by him to make sure that they get the Bahamas a point on the board.
So with 2 outs and a man on first, now batting for the Bahamas, Farron Moss. Here you are. And the pitch, that's a ball. Caballero trying to keep Malik close over there on first. He has continued to pick off, trying to get Malik Berrien sleeping, but unsuccessful in both of his attempts. He's now set and deals. That pitch is going to be high. It's going to be a ball. The throw to second. Oh, the throw was there and on time, but the shortstop was unable to corral it, and Malik Berrien will get to second base with the stolen bag. So we're ready for the game to continue. Richard comes set and deals. That pitch is going to be hit up the middle where the shortstop was playing for the Panthers. He makes a throw, and that will be out number 3. So, through 3 innings, the score, Panthers 4, Bahamas 1. We'll be back for the 4th inning. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in the top of the 4th inning. Coming up to the box for the Panthers, Arthur Quinones. Arthur is 1 for 1 today with a triple back in the 2nd inning. Arthur was in the box last inning for the Panthers, but following a steal attempt that got cut off by the Bahamas, Arthur will get to redo his at-bat. So we are set for inning number 4. Mobley is set and deals the first pitch. Curveball taken for strike number 1 to Quinones.
Mobley's staying aggressive. I like it. I like how he's able to keep the aggression throughout this entire game so far.
And gets aggressive with the fastball, a little too aggressive. And that one's going to roll to the backstop. The count now is 1-1. Mobley sets and deals a curveball. That's going to be taken for strike number 2. He now gets ahead in the count. It's 1-2. And Mobley makes quick work of Quinones. That's a strikeout. So with 1 out, stepping up to the plate, Ray Prieto. Ray hit a sacrifice fly back in the 2nd to get the Panthers on the board. He now steps up with with 1 out and no men on, following the 4th strikeout for Mobley. And Mobley gets ahead in the count here with the fastball. It's 0-1. Mobley has done a great job to get ahead of these Panthers hitters and is very successful when he gets ahead in the count. The second pitch to Prieto. Curveball. That ball's hit. That's going to the gap. That's going to drop. And Prieto is going to find himself on second base. That's going to be a stand-up double. Prieto able to take that off-speed pitch and hit it into the gap for a 1-out double.
Tell you what, the batters have been doing a good job, in my opinion, at least against Mobley. You know, with all the talk and how dominant he is, one of the better pitchers in the league, the batters have been responding in kind.
Yeah, especially after another extra base hit for the Panthers. That's already their 2nd of the night.
Now let me ask you a question, as someone who's been around this league a lot longer. If you are the Cobra, if you are the Bums, who obviously are going to be playing one of these teams come Wednesday, which team would you want to not have to face? I mean, I know we still have plenty of innings to go, but I think, in my opinion, we got a decent idea of what each team brings right now. So, like I said, we still got plenty of baseball left to go, but which team, in my opinion, do you think poses more of a threat right now to the Bums once we head to Wednesday?
Well, Armani, if I have to be honest with you, right now, I mean, both teams have looked great in this game, and both teams have a pretty decent track record. But like I was saying, both teams have done really well tonight. The Panthers have just been able to execute on some of the Bahamas mistakes. If I'm the Beach Bums, I'm looking at this game and I'm not seeing one team totally dominate another. I'm seeing two teams really go at it and fighting, for a chance to play on Wednesday.
I agree with that.
And that's eye-opening. That's eye-opening if you're the Bums. This is a really, really hard-fought match right now between both teams.
I agree with that. Both teams have been fairly equal. I mean, if not for a few errors, the score should be a lot closer. So both teams have been they've been pretty much neck and neck. I know the scoreboard doesn't show it, but they've been neck and neck throughout this entire game.
And it's not a big game. It's not a big lead. 3 runs is it's still a close game. There's still half a ball game to be played, and the Bahamas have their guy on the mound as he's able to blow that fastball by Julian Gaston for strike 2. The Bahamas have their number 1 guy on the mound, and they are still in a good position to win this ball game.
But I talked about it a little bit in last game, a little bit in this game. But the mental games, you think about it. You're the Bahamas. You've been beating on the Panthers the entire season, and now they're up on you by 3. So right now, what the Bahamas need to do is not worry about that, not think to themselves, even though they probably are shocked, thinking, how are we letting these guys beat us? But they got to put that behind them in the rearview mirror and just focus on the here and the now. getting over this disadvantage, and advancing to the next round.
Well, that's the beauty of a baseball, Armani. You know, any guy can win on any given night. That's the beauty of the sport. You know, there's never a big favorite. You know, the underdog always has a chance in the sport, and I think we're seeing that right now. As Julian Gaston will reach first on the walk, that will bring up to the plate Nate Sanchez. But like I was saying, you know, any guy can win on any given night, and it's playoff baseball, and this isn't the regular season anymore. This game really means something. It means a lot more than any other game this season up to this point.
Well, you always have those teams. You have those teams that do very well in the regular season, and then they shrivel in the playoffs. Then there are those teams that, you know, are fairly quiet throughout the regular season, then come playoff time, they just hit another gear. This happens not just in baseball, but in every sport. And those are the teams that you always need to watch. Not the teams with the flashiest record, not the teams with maybe only 1 or 2 losses on the season. The teams that, you know, they have a couple maybe more losses than what you feel like their team should have, but they get hot at the right time is always at the end of the season.
So that pitch taken for a strike. Mobley fires in the fastball and gets the corner. Nate Sanchez is 1 for 1 today. He singled back in the second inning and later scored for the Panthers. And he's going to take that pitch. That ball is going to drop for a base hit. Here comes Ray. He's going to be safe. And another runner trying to score. He does not advance. So a base hit from Nate Sanchez. That's going to bring Ray Prieto all the way around to score. And Julian Gaston will get to third.
That's what I like to see. Both of these teams are just being aggressive from the beginning. They're very evenly matched, it feels like, just on both sides of the ball. So what do you have to do? Which team can be more aggressive? What team can be the most aggressive quicker? And right now, I'm giving it to the Panthers. They're taking every single opportunity they can get.
That's right, and that's why they're ahead in this ball game. And now we're going to see the infield in for the Bahamas. And up to the plate is Antonio Martinez, as Julian Gaston looked like he might have stole home there, but he decided against it. But it looked like it temporarily messed with Evan Mobley's pitching windup as he threw that fastball high. And that ball is going to be hit down the first base line. That's going to be a stand-up double. And that's going to bring both Panthers home. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 7-1 in favor of the Panthers. And this is a huge inning for the Pembroke Pines Panthers.
Shout out to I guess if I had to have a favorite team, it would be the Pembroke Pines Panthers, coming from my home city of Pembroke Pines. So, you know, if I had to have a bet in this game, it probably would be to the Panthers.
So the hometown kid gets to watch his hometown team.
We talked a little bit about uniforms. I think the Panthers have some pretty decent uniforms. I mean, you got the white pants, but you got the nice black. You got the blue. I think
blue and black jersey.
Yeah, I think there's some decent little. Uniforms, if you ask me.
All the teams have pretty nice uniforms, but you haven't got to see all the teams' uniforms yet. The Cobras, we have pretty nice jerseys ourselves.
Alrighty.
Anyways, back to the game. The score is 7-1. There's still only one out this inning, as the Panthers have had Evan Mobley's number this inning. They've already scored 3 here in the top half of the fourth. With Martinez on second, head coach Louis Martinez brings Kelvin Feliciano in for a quick chat. We'll see if a trick plays on here for the Panthers. But for the Bahamas, they are now in a hole. They're in a 6-run hole. And they need to find a way to get themselves out of this inning, back in the dugout, and they need to score some runs. Mobley deals an off-speed. That's taken for strike number 1. Good job by Mobley to get ahead in the count here as he is trying to fight his way out of this difficult inning.
What's the biggest deficit we've seen a team come out of this entire season?
I'm not too sure, Armani.
Well, it might be this game for all we know.
So, the 0-2 to Kevin Feliciano. Mobley set and deals. That ball is going to fall. That's going to be a base hit. Here comes Martinez. He rounds third. He's going to head home without a throw. It's 8-1 Panthers, and the lead keeps increasing. The Pembroke Pines Panthers are now up 8-1 following the base hit from Kelvin Feliciano.
I'm getting very similar vibes to the previous game where just one team and one inning just completely takes over. And we're seeing that right now with the Panthers. They're taking over the top of the fourth inning. They're taking it over right now. And right now, the Bahamas, they have nothing to answer for.
That's true. They're going to need to figure something out, and they need to figure it out quick, or this game might get away from them. As Azzy Lopez is back in the box for the Panthers. He's 1 for 2 today with a base hit back in the third.
So if you're the Bahamas, I mean, what do you do? I mean, I'll ask the same question once we get to the bottom of the fourth and they're hitting. But right now, if you're the Bahamas, what do you do just to stop the bleeding?
Well, the big thing right now for the Bahamas is they got to get out of this inning. There should be nothing on their mind. The score should not matter. Nothing else matters right now for the Bahamas but to get out of this inning. And they need to get out of this inning quick. They need to get out of this inning. They need to get their bats awake. And they need to start scoring runs. But it starts right now with Evan Mobley and the Bahamas. They need an out here. If Evan Mobley can get this ball on the ground, which he doesn't, that ball is driven. It's going to be caught, and we might have a double-up opportunity, and that throw will pull the first baseman off the bag. Big opportunity there for the Bahamas to double him up. They're unable to do it, but like I said, big out there for the Bahamas as he flies out to the left fielder. So now there's 2 outs for the Bahamas. And I'll go back to what I was saying, Armani. The game plan is simple. Get out of this inning. It's a rough inning. Get past it. You can't think about it. You got to score runs. And the job's not done yet. The job's not done this inning yet for Evan. Can't let off the gas. Got to get an out here. And that pitch is going to get away. Anderson was unable to find where the ball was. And Tommy Ramos comes all the way from first to try to make a throw at third. And things are quickly falling apart here for the Bahamas. That was a really poor sequence.
I want to talk a little bit about Evan right now. I mean, like, something that I've been noticing is it looks like when he's pitching, he's still going as aggressive as he can. But once he's done with those pitches, you can tell that he's just not happy. But he can't worry about that right now. He needs to stay focused. And that's just I know those are little things that I'm mentioning, but those little things are the difference between getting a strikeout, getting someone out, or increasing that lead to potentially double digits by the end of the inning.
And that frustration got to Mobley there as he was not looking at where the ball was, and it allowed Feliciano to reach to third as that ball will be taken a little inside, says the home plate umpire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is number 8, Anderson Makos at the dish for the Panthers. Anderson is 0 for 2 today. He is flown out to the right fielder in both at-bats for the Panthers. Again, the storyline of the night, big innings. We saw it in the first game. We're seeing it here again. The Panthers have put 4 up on the Bahamas this inning and have a runner on third. That pitch, wow, just low and away, says the home plate umpire. And Mobley is clearly frustrated with that call.
Mobley needs to stay focused. He can't let this get to him. If he does, then it's over.
He has to stay focused here. And he comes back here with a good pitch. Makos does a good job to foul it off. And we still have a battle here, folks. Mobley is trying to get his team back in the dugout here. He comes set. And he deals. That ball is going to be hit past the third baseman. And the party will keep on rocking for the Panthers as Anderson Makos will bring home Kelvin Feliciano. It's 9-1 Panthers. Wow. And now we see head coach Donovan Cox of the Bahamas, come out, and that's going to be Evan Mobley's night. So the final for Mobley: 3 2/3 inning, 9 runs, and 4 strikeouts for Evan.
I think this is the right call because pitchers are like the quarterbacks of baseball. Maybe not quite as important, but having good or bad, just innings, anything, it's going to set the tone for the game and for your team. So if your pitcher is doing great, then it's going to set the tone. If they're having a bad run and on top of that they're showing frustration, it's going to show in the team's results. So, Evan, he was looking frustrated that pretty much throughout that entire inning. So I think a fresh new pitcher to reset the tone for this team is the right call.
So, pitching change for the Bahamas. We will be back when we are all set to continue play. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all set. So with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning, the Bahamas will bring in a new pitcher, and he'll be dealt with the task of facing George Gonzalez. George Gonzalez was the player of the week all the way back in the first week of the Summer League. And tonight he's 1 for 2 with a base hit back in the first inning. And he will take strike 1 from the Bahamas pitcher. And the 0-1. That one's a little too outside, says the home plate umpire. The count now moves to 1-1. Count even at 1. Pitcher comes set and steps off. Takes a look over at Makos. But nothing doing. By the way, for the Bahamas, Darren Russell is the pitcher. Darren Russell has come into the game to relieve Evan Mobley. So, the 1-1, Russell sets and deals. It's a ball. Makos takes off to second. The throw gets away, and Makos will advance all the way to third. And wow, the Panthers have really stayed aggressive here as Makos comes all the way around. He will get to third base on the throwing error by the catcher.
So what do you think is more at play right now for the Panthers doing so well? Is it aggressiveness or is it more of just mistakes from the Bahamas? Or do you think it's really even out of both?
It's the aggression, and the aggression has led to the mistakes, Armani. Just great job on the base pads. They take extra bases. They're forcing the Bahamas to make plays. And in a game like this, you know, what might be a normal play in the regular season is amplified because, like you said, this is the playoffs. This is an elimination game. Both teams know it, and both teams want to win. And when you get aggressive like this and you put the other team on their backs, on their heels, it makes it hard to make those plays. And the aggression has played out perfectly for the Panthers, and you can tell by the score.
And the aggression is also staying with this new pitcher. I mean, he's been throwing a lot of, seems like really hard balls so far.
Yeah, he's firing it in there. And we'll see if he's able to make the third out here. As Russell looks in, the count's 3-2. He's set and deals. And that ball will be taken for a walk. So with 2 outs, Gonzalez is able to reach first base with the walk. And that'll bring up to the dish the catcher, Aaron Chavarria. Aaron is 0 for 1 today with a walk. Ladies and gentlemen, the lights are starting to come on here. We are playing baseball under the lights at Northeast High School. Always a beautiful scene when you get to play some baseball under the lights.
Baseball under the lights is just one of the best things that you can see just in any sport. I mean, really any sport under the lights is just a spectacle to watch, just from a pure visual perspective.
So we're set here, and Chavarria takes ball 1. As right now, it sounds like the train's going behind us. I'd like to give a shout out here in the broadcast booth to Haley. Haley's watching from Margate, Florida. Thank you for tuning in tonight, Haley. I love you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a balk. That's a balk. And it seems that the umpires are not going to call it a balk. But I will tell you from first-hand account, that is a balk. That runner should be at home. So instead, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to unpack right now. So, how do we explain all this, Armani? A balk, not called. The pitcher fires in a strike to Chavarria. The catcher fakes the throw to second when George was stealing. Threw it to third. Threw it to the wrong side of the base. And Makos is able to score on the throwing error. George is able to advance to second.
Oh, there's
the name of the game, Armani.
aggression.
Errors and aggression. It is now, 10-1. It is 10-1 Panthers. So, with a man on second and 2 outs, Chavarria is going to try to score him. Trying to bring him home to make this a 10-run lead. Again, we will remind you, ladies and gentlemen, a run rule is in effect. After 5 innings of baseball, if any team is leading by 10 or more, the mercy rule is in effect.
The Bahamas need to get out of this inning, and they need to get out fast. They just had everything go the wrong way for them. Even with the new pitcher, it feels like it's been the same old story. They just need to get out and get out fast.
Chavarria is not making that easy for the Bahamas. He has taken 2 decent pitches as Russell is set and deals the 2-1 count. The pitch, that's, wow. That's going to be low and away, says the home plate umpire. It looked like a good pitch from the booth. But instead, it's going to be a 2-1 count. Or did he actually call that a strike? I can't tell from this angle. But there are 2 balls.
Looked like from my angle it was a ball.
So, with 2 balls, Russell deals. It's going to get away.
Oh, that's a lot more than a ball. That's just a straight up walk.
That is a walk. So there was 3 balls in the count. It looked like the count was actually 3-2, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that. But Chavarria is going to advance all the way to second as he caught the Bahamas pitcher and catcher sleeping. And ladies and gentlemen, this one's starting to get out of hand. So now up to the box, Arthur Quinones. Arthur led this inning off, believe it or not, for the for the Panthers. He was the first out this inning, strikeout victim. Looking to change that here in the top half of the 4th.
If you're the number 1 and you're the number 2 seed, the Bums and the Cobras, I feel like the number 1 thing you need to take away from these games is don't underestimate the lower seed. They will be aggressive in the case of the Panthers, or they'll play near perfection in the case of the Tide to get the advantage on the seed on the upper seed. So if you're the Cobras, you're the Bums, you cannot underestimate these teams.
That's true. So Quinones takes strike one as Russell quickly gets set and deals an off-speed pitch. That's a ball, and now we have ourselves a rundown. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end the inning. A back pick to second base will end the two-out bases loaded threat. The two-out threat with runners on second and third. It's going to be hard to score that one. But if you're keeping track at home, you can put that down as a 2-4-2-5 putout. That's, again, a 2-4-2-5 putout on Aaron Chavarria. And for the second time today, Arthur Quinones has an at-bat taken away from him. We'll remind you, ladies and gentlemen, back in the third inning, Quinones had a 2-strike count, but Chavarria was thrown out on a stolen base attempt. And here in the fourth, Chavarria was thrown out on a back pick attempt. So Quinones will once again come up to the plate. Anyways, we head to the bottom of the fifth. Panthers 10, Bahamas 1. We'll be right back for more. Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the bottom of the fourth inning. Richard Caballero is still on the mound for the Panthers. And he will be dealt the task of facing Leo Garcia. And that first pitch will be taken for a ball. So, the 1-0 count here to Leo. Garcia singled back in the first inning. That was his only plate appearance up until this point. And Caballero comes set and deals. The 1-0 taken for strike number one. Richard evens up the count with the fastball there.
Caballero has been doing a great job this entire game. I mean, 3 strikeouts, and he's just been cool and collected. I mean, nothing's been phasing him. Even that one run that the Bahamas got, I mean, nothing's been phasing him. I mean, you even see it with that one where he got that hit. I mean, he's cool, calm under pressure. He's not showing any type of aggressive reaction. He's just staying as calm as possible, and that is the key. Because remember, pitcher is the most important position, in my opinion, in baseball. So, if your pitcher is staying calm and he's in his game, then the entire team is going to be the exact same way.
Absolutely. So, following the single, up to the plate now, Tommy Ramos. Tommy struck out back in the first inning and quickly fouls off the first pitch against Caballero. We have a comment in the YouTube comment section. Lenice says, who's the new pitcher? Lenice, the pitcher for the Bahamas is Darren Russell. Darren is the new pitcher for the Bahamas. Richard is the same pitcher for the Panthers. And Caballero back on the mound. He's ready. Sets and deals the 0-1 to Ramos. That curveball backs up on him. And the count is 1-1. That one's going to be grounded foul. So the count's going to move to 1-2 here on Tommy. The 1-2 curveball, that one is low and away. And that'll even the count 2-2 to Tommy Ramos. Caballero gets back on the mound. He's set and deals. That one's away, and we have a 3-2 count here. Tommy's done a good job to work this count to full, as he's looking for a pitch to hit to get these Bahamas back in this game. Caballero gets his pitch, but Tommy is not ready. He calls time. Home plate umpire awards it to him. We're all set. And the 3-2, that one's fouled away. So the full count. We're set. And deals. Tommy Ramos. He puts a drive into that one, but it's going to go right to the left fielder. That's going to be out number 1 for the Bahamas. Wow, Tommy just missed that one. And if you're Richard, you're probably letting off a sigh of relief, as Tommy Ramos just missed that fastball for out number 1. So moving ahead now, up to the box, Dwayne Mackey. Dwayne is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, as he takes ball 1 from Caballero.
The guy I'm going to be watching for when it comes to hitting is going to be Evan, because while he was very frustrated when it came to his pitching performance, and that eventually got him pulled, however, that aggression is going to be perfect for when it comes to hitting that ball, because if he can put that aggression into hitting that ball, especially very far, he can potentially put a couple of runs on the board for the Bahamas.
Mobley is due up after Darren Russell, who is on deck. Mobley's in the hole. So, following the meeting at the mound by head coach Louis Martinez, we are all set to resume play here in the bottom of the 4th. Again, we got 1 man on, 1 out, and 1 strike to Dwayne Mackey. And the pitch, that's low. And I apologize, the count is 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. Dwayne thought that was ball 4. I thought that was ball 2. but it's actually, in fact, a 3-0 count. It's not 2-1. So the 3-0 to Mackey. There's strike one, fired in by Richard Caballero. Richard going to try to work back here in this count. He's down 3-1. And that one will not do it. That's a ball. We got runners on first and second here with only one out in the bottom half of this fourth inning. As Darren Russell, the pitcher, will step up to the plate for the Bahamas. Russell is 0 for 0, does not have an at-bat this game. He had one plate appearance back in the second, but he walked. And he finds himself 1-0 in this count. Richard has quickly lost some of his command here following the 5-pitch walk, but fires in a strike there. That's going to drop, though. That blue single will load the bases for the Bahamas. So here it is, Armani. This is the at-bat you were waiting to see. Evan Mobley's going to step to the plate with the bases loaded and only one man out.
And I think he's in the best position possible because not only can he use that aggression, but again, he's got loaded bases currently. So really, even if he gets an out, if he can get the third base all the way to home base, or if he can even get second to third, if he can make some play happen, even if he doesn't himself score a base, I mean, I think Evan right now is in the perfect position to really maximize the opportunity.
And we're going to have a meeting at the mound, and Richard Caballero is going to be pulled from this ball game. Head coach Louis Martinez will put in Angel Morel. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go to the break, the new pitcher is Ronald Dina for the Panthers. So with one out, Evan Mobley steps to the plate. We're ready for some action as Ronaldinho will be tasked the job of getting the Panthers out of this bases loaded situation. And he's going to fire that one to the backstop. One run will score for the Bahamas on that wild pitch by Ronaldinho.
I wasn't kidding when I said pretty much Evan was in the perfect opportunity to make something happen, regardless of almost what he did. And he didn't even swing the ball, and he still managed to get a score.
So the 1-0 to Evan Mobley. That one is going to be away. We now have A 2-0 count to Evan. Again, 2 men are on, 1 already in this inning, and only 1 out for the Panthers. The pitch, that ball is going to be grounded to the first baseman, and it seems like Arthur thought that there was a force play on at the plate. There wasn't, and that's going to bring home another run on the fielder's choice. So a little bit of a mental mistake there for the Panthers, as Mobley now reaches first, and we have runners on the corners with 2 on and 1 man out.
The Bahamas are starting to get some momentum finally going their way. I mean, they were down 10-1 at the beginning. Now they're only down by 7. So still a lot of game left to play. But, I mean, right now the Bahamas, they finally get the momentum swinging to them, which they've been needing so far this entire night.
First pitch taken for a ball to Jason Moss. Back in the third, Jason struck out to lead on Ronaldinho. So, with 1 man on and 1 out, Jason Moss now has an opportunity to bring in another run. A base hit will score him. That one's taken for a strike, says the home plate umpire. For the Bahamas, still a long way to go. They're down 6 runs, but Armando, they got to be feeling good after putting up 3 this inning.
Oh, of course. I mean, just like I said, any sort of momentum that can get in their way is really what they need. If they just kept doing what they were doing, being 10-1, if they were going 10-1 still going into the top of the 5th, then it would have been the same story as the first game. However, unlike the predecessor in the first game, they're able to get some momentum going. They're still down by 6. They still have a long way to go, but momentum and the mental gains, in my opinion, are really what's going to be in play, because both teams are being very aggressive. So it's the little things that these teams need to do, and right now the Bahamas are finally getting that, and they're finally taking advantage of that, which is what the Panthers have been doing so well so far this game. Now what the Panthers need to do is they need to make sure that they tighten up those cracks, because like I said, both teams have been so aggressive that each team is taking advantage of those cracks. So if you're the Panthers, you need to keep that lead and you need to tighten those cracks, or else the Bahamas, they will come back.
And the Bahamas, Jason Moss will reach on the walk. That's going to bring up to the plate number 5, Solomon Grayson. Solomon doubled back in the third and opened up the scoring for the Bahamas, excuse me. He wound up coming around to score back in third. So now there's 2 on, still only 1 out for the Panthers. The Bahamas looking to get back into this ball game, and Ronaldinho fires in a strike to Solomon. Looks like there's some action in the Panthers bullpen. Angel Morel looks like he is ready to go as Ronaldinho fires a ball. The count is now 1-1. As the lights are in full effect here, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is down. The stars are out. We are playing under the lights here at Northeast High. The pitch, that's taken, ball 2. Counts 2-1 here. We're going to take a pause in the action as the catcher will go up to Ronaldinho. Ladies and gentlemen, today's telecast is brought to you by Twin Peaks, the official sponsor of Charles Johnson Summer League, Axe Throwing Society, Axe Throwing Live Sports, South Bats, it's all about the wood, Fuzzy's Taco Shop, stop by and see what everyone's talking about, and Hodling Insurance, official sponsor of the Home Run Derby. Thank you to all of our sponsors for making this season and game possible. As the catcher, Aaron Chavarria, walks back towards the plate. Solomon Grayson is still up for the Bahamas, and he is getting himself set. Counts 2-1. We're ready for some action. Ronaldinho gets the pitch from his catcher. He's set, looks at second, and deals. There's a strike. Chavarria looks to have done something right in that appearance to the mound. Gets Ronaldinho the fire and a strike. So it's 2-2. And Ronaldinho is set. He fires that one. Strike 3 on the outside corner. And Solomon's going to go down looking. There's now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
So right now I feel like the Panthers, like, they just either need to maintain or they need to keep building up their gap. But they definitely need to stop the Bahamas momentum, because I talked about the Bahamas are finally starting to get some momentum. The Panthers, in my opinion, they could easily squander that right here, right now. So right now, like I said, the cracks have been showing, but we're seeing it right now.
A stolen base from both Bahamas players.
So we're seeing that right now already. 2 stolen bases just right there. So the Panthers need to minimize mistakes, and they need to seal those cracks. If not, you're going to see the Bahamas turn this from a 10-4 to potentially even a lot closer and dangerously close than what the Panthers might want originally.
That's right. Panthers need to get Calvin out right here. Calvin is already 0 for 1. Excuse me, Calvin's 1 for 1 this game with a base hit, as he takes strike 1. Count moves to 1-1 here for Ronaldinho. So with runners on second and third and 2 outs, Ronaldinho is set and fires the 1-1 ball. That one is low and away. And the count moves to 2-1. Ronaldinho again sets and deals the pitch. That one's going to be hit towards second base. He's going to make the play, throws it over to Arthur at first, and the 2-out threat is put down by the Panthers. They escape the inning, but give up 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th. The score is 10-4 as we are ready to move to the 5th inning. So, in the top of the fifth, Darren Russell is going to face Arthur Quinones. Arthur led off the inning in the fourth, struck out, and got batted all the way around to him. And in his second plate appearance, a stolen base attempt was cut short and has given Arthur a chance to see another AB. Arthur has 2 at-bats listed in the book, but has been to the box 4 times tonight.
So what are we really going to see from each team? Because it feels like the momentum has kind of swung. The Bahamas have a little bit of momentum going. The Panthers, they let the Bahamas come back a little bit. So if you're the Panthers, keep doing what you were doing in the previous inning. Keep going aggressive. Don't let off the gas is what I mentioned. And if you're the Bahamas, I mean, let the momentum going. I mean, you saw your team score some runs. So keep the momentum going, keep it swinging, and it all's going to start with this pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Bahamas, they finally had a good inning last inning. They were able to score some runs. They were able to, what I really think is good for the Bahamas is they were able to answer. They're able to answer the Panthers call. You know, the Panthers in the fourth, in the top half, they put a lot of runs on, but the Bahamas show that they can do that too. And they put together a good string, a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and they were able to score. And they made this one an interesting ball game once again. Anyways, back to the at-bat at hand. Arthur has 2 strikes on him following that foul ball. That one dropped over by the first base dugout. So Arthur will get another chance here in the top half of the fifth. Arthur's 1 for 2 with the triple. That was all the way back in the second, which feels like forever ago.
Tell you what, after the bottom of the fourth and the top of the fourth.
Oh! Sorry, Armand, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but Arthur got hit by a pitch there. And he's going to make it to first base.
Well, the aggression has been the name of the game this entire game, I can tell you that.
So now, coming up to the box with no outs and a man on first, Ray Prieto. Ray is 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly and a double back in the fourth.
And that's why I really like the Panthers, because it feels like no matter what, they always score. Whether it's one man on a base, or they load the bases, or they manage to get someone on a run in just a couple pitches. It always feels like they're taking advantage of every single opportunity, and they're benefiting from it. That's what I really like about the Panthers right now.
So, we'd like to give another shout out here in the booth to head coach Roy Nino. Shout out to Coach. He just shot me a text, said, "Spit it out." Coach, I guess I'm stuttering too much for your liking. I apologize. We also have a comment here in the YouTube. I'm sorry to ask. No worries, Mrs. Mobley. What position is Evan Mobley playing? As soon as we're able to get that answer for you, I will let you know. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I believe Evan Mobley was subbed out and is the designated hitter. I do not see Evan playing the field currently, but he is still in the lineup. Evan was in the lineup. He's batted last inning, but again, I just don't see him on the field right now.
Would they put him on a different position?
Well, Evan started the game as a pitcher, and then I believe he got subbed out for Darringe. I'm not sure if Darren Russell was an EH, but I don't see Evan hitting, so I'm assuming he went in as an extra hitter. Anyways, the count is 2-0 here to Ray Prieto.
Just stay aggressive. That's what they need to do, both teams. Panthers especially, just stay aggressive.
And the 3-0 is taken for a ball. That's going to be a walk. And with that, now batting, number 1, Julian Gaston. Julian is 1 for 1 today. He singled back in the second and walked in the fourth. Wound up coming around all the way to home to score in the fourth.
If you're Darren Russell right now, you need to find a way to get this guy into an out. You cannot let him walk, because if you do, then you got loaded bases just right there. So you need to make sure that you get him out, and you get him out fast. And if you're lucky, try to get 2 of them out if you have that opportunity. But you need to get at least 1 out here and now, because if not, then the Panthers, they could potentially seal the game in just this inning alone.
And Armani, with that hit by pitch, Darren Russell is not able to get Julian out. He's going to load the bases with no outs. And that hit by pitch is going to bring up Nate Sanchez. Nate has been excellent today. He's 2 for 2 with 2 base hits in the second and the fourth, and has come around both times to score. So if you're the Panthers here, you're feeling great. The Bahamas, not so much. They need an out, and they don't need another run to score. Already down 6. Russell's going to go into the windup, and he's going to focus here on the batter, trying to get Sanchez out for the first time tonight. He's going to take strike 1.
Right now, what Darren Russell has to do is he just has to minimize damage. In my opinion, I feel like there is going to be a run. There's no way of, getting around that, in my opinion. So he just has to minimize damage.
Well, he's actually... Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot more to uncover here. Hold on a second.
Get your popcorn ready. We got a lot
Get your popcorn ready. Louis Martinez.
So where do we even start? Oh, it looks like we got a disagreement on the field.
Hold on a second.
Oh, like shouting
And
throwing baseball gloves.
hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We have a situation unfolding here on the field as give us a second here. We're going to find out what's going on.
There's a lot of disagreement going on the field right now. It looks like, especially with the coaches.
Unfortunately, from our angle, we were not able to see what happened at first. Give us 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to figure out what happened on that play. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears that there was a little bit of some barking between Nate Sanchez and the first baseman, Tommy Ramos. We have to commend the coaches. They did a good job to keep the players in the dugout. Assistant coach Brian Devers, he's barking at his team, keeping them in the dugout. And the Bahamas coach is discussing, that's Donovan on the field with the umpires, discussing what just took place. We're trying to unpack it here ourselves. We are unsure what happened. Unfortunately, from our angle, we weren't able to see the event.
Well, we did say that aggression was the name of the game so far, and I think we finally reached the boiling point in terms of that statement.
Yeah, the aggression is now starting to leak out onto the field, as this one might be getting away from the Bahamas. We do know for a fact that the first runner was out on the throw home, but following that, unfortunately we have no idea what happened, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to a commercial break and try to unpack all of this for the viewers. We'll be right back here at Northeast High. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. So, lots to unpack. The throw home was in time to get Arthur Quinones out for out number 1. Now, Ray Prieto was able to come around from second to score. Julian Gaston was able to make it to third. And Nate Sanchez was safe at first. So there's 1 out, 1 scores at play, and there's still 2 men on for the Panthers. The issue was, I believe, Tommy Ramos, I believe, got tripped up at first, and head coach Donovan was arguing whether or not that trip was intentional. If we can get some more information, ladies and gentlemen, we will relay it to you. But so far, so good in our scorebooks. It's 11-4. 1 man out, 2 men on. I apologize. Nate Sanchez was able to make it to second. All right, so one last time. Arthur Quinones was thrown out on the force out at home. On that throw, Ray Prieto came around from second to score. Julian Gaston made it to third, and Nate Sanchez made it to second. There is 1 out and 2 men on, and the first pitch is taken for a ball. Martinez is up. Martinez is 2 for 2 today. In the 4th, he reached with a double. Martinez has also scored both times today, as he takes the ball there, and the count is now quickly 2-0. So the 2-0 here to Martinez. Russell comes set and deals. Swung on and miss. That's going to be strike number 1 here to Antonio Martinez. Speaking of Antonios, shout out to the Antonio in the booth. That's me. If you see this guy tomorrow, I'm turning 21.
Are you allowed to shout out yourself? Is that
allowed in the booth?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it is now. You just did it anyway.
I guess so. If you see me tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to buy me a beer. It's my 21st birthday. And back to the action. The 2-2 swung on and miss. Martinez down on strikes. There's now 2 men out here in the top of the 5th. The Bahamas trying to limit the runs to only 1 this inning. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pembroke Pines Panthers just stole home. Julian Gaston has stole home on the Bahamas.
You can't let that stuff happen. And he's been showing that ever since he got to third base. Like, he's been putting that into the pitcher's face that I'm going to steal this home. I'm going to steal this home. So the pitcher, in my opinion, should have been more on that. Like, that should have never been allowed to have been stolen in the first place.
Well, a stolen base nonetheless. Kelvin Feliciano is up to the plate. He takes ball 1. Kelvin's 1 for 2 today with a single. Came around to score back in the 4th. Struck out in the 2nd. And is now faced with the task of bringing home Nate Sanchez over on 2nd. Kelvin pops that one up. But that'll be out of play for strike number 1.
Heard that by the broadcast booth. I mean, we've been missing out a couple of those recently.
I feel like one of these foul balls, I might have to stick my arm out and catch a ball.
I don't think you'll have to. I think at this point it's just going to come right into the...
It's going to find us.
It's going to come right into the booth.
So the 1-1 to Feliciano. That's swung on, hit to the pitcher, Darren Drussel, who will throw to Tommy Ramos and put an end to the top of the 5th. The score is 12-4. The Bahamas will get a chance to respond after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the bottom of the 5th. Stepping up to the box for the Bahamas, Malik Berrien. Malik is 1 for 2 today. Flew out back in the 1st. And reached all the way to 2nd back in the 3rd inning. So we're set here for the bottom of the 5th. Ronald Dino is still on the mound for the Panthers. And he gets a sign from Chavarria and fires in strike number 1. And time is called here in the box. Lanice Roll asks, what position is Ernie Barr playing? Lanice, unfortunately, I do not have an answer. I'm not sure where Ernie's playing right now. And the 0-1 is taken for a ball by Malik Berrien. Count's 1-1. And the 1-2, a half check swing. And the first base umpire says not a full swing. So the count will move to 2-2. That was a great pitch from Ronaldinho. The off speed almost got him for strike 3. But Malik Berrien, the 2-2. That pitch is taken for ball 3. We got a full count. And we are ready here for a big 3-2 count, ladies and gentlemen. Ronaldinho set and throws. Ball 4. Wow, just a bit away, says the home plate umpire. And now there's a runner on first for the Bahamas.
I feel like both teams have really been just easy aggression as of late. We've been seeing a lot more balls. We've been seeing a lot more just walks. Not as many attempts to really try to swing or strike.
And that's going to get away. And
well, you got to give them credit for at least trying. We really haven't seen any attempts to pick him off, and I mean, worked out in the worst case scenario for him, but at least he made an attempt.
yeah. So Berrien gets to second, and now with the runner on second, Moss is going to try to bring him in. That pitch taken for a strike. And that pitch taken for a strike. So the pitch, that one's taken away. That's a ball to Farron Moss. And that's taken for a strike. Moss ready to walk, but not so fast, says the umpire.
Don't get too cocky now. I mean, we've still got 2.5 innings to go.
So with 2 strikes, Ronaldinho ready. Runner's running. Whoa! That bat finds its way out of play. Moss throws that one out of play and heads up over there to the fans.
Oh, nice catch by 21 to catch that bat.
And that pitch taken for a ball. So, with no men out and 2 men on, Ronaldinho will attempt a pickoff. As we are set here. And that ball will be fouled away.
That's another one that just goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, batting for the Bahamas, Leo Garcia. Leo is 2 for 2 today. The Panthers have not been able to get him out in this bout between the two. But with 2 men on and no out, the Panthers could really use an out here, as Ronaldinho has walked both men on base to start this inning. Control has been a problem for Ronaldinho in the past. Hoping he can find it here are the Panthers.
I mean, he's trying. I mean, look at all the picks he's been trying to get. So
Runners are going. The throw to third. He's safe. And Malik will get to third on the stolen base. We now have runners on the corners.
He was committed to that. I mean, just as soon as the ball left his hand, I mean, he just ran for his life to get to third base. So
good job by Malik there.
Might bring the score to 12-5 if things go right.
Throw taken for strike 3. And the Panthers are able to get a big first out. So now there's 1 out for Tommy Ramos. Tommy's 0 for 2 today, hoping to change his luck with a big opportunity for the Panthers. They got a man on third with less than 2 outs. And that pitch will get away and will score Malik Berrien from third.
Could it be just like maybe fatigue setting in? I mean, we're already almost at 8:45. It's fully dark outside. Both teams, they've been playing a long game, and I don't know, maybe fatigue is just setting in with both of them. I think we've been seeing a lot more mistakes out of both of them than we've even had at the beginning of this game.
Whatever the case is, the Panthers need to figure it out. As there's a ball.
I think that could be a reason why we're seeing them be a lot more passive too. Like seeing a lot more walks, seeing a lot more balls. We haven't been seeing a lot of strikeouts either as of late. In fact, we haven't really been seeing a lot of outs, period. Especially, as of late. I think that has a lot to do with just it's late. Everyone's kind of probably in that mindset they just want to go home. And that's really the first swing attempt that I've seen someone make this entire inning so far. So, I mean, that's what I think it is. I think it's just fatigue. They're tired. They want to go home. They played a long game. They've been out here all day. And that could really be why we're seeing a lot of cracks starting to form.
As Tommy Ramos swinging for the fences here. He's down 2 strikes. So with 2 strikes, Ronaldinho throws strike 3 to Ramos. And now there's 2 outs here for the Panthers. So with 2 outs, stepping up to the box is Dwayne Mackey. Dwayne is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout today.
Now, what I've noticed is we've really seen 2 different storylines so far in this bottom of the inning. With try to get the walk, or they try to be aggressive early on and just go for it, and either that works out for them or it doesn't. So, what's it gonna be with him? Is he just gonna go for the ball, or is he just gonna try to get as much as he can out of this hit?
We'll have to wait and see here as Ronaldinho fires in. Wow, a called strike from the home plate umpire. That pitch fouled away. That's a broken bat. Gonna go towards second base. Gonna get past the second baseman. There'll be a play at the plate. The throw. That's in time. Out number 3 for the Panthers. What a play to end the inning.
Wow.
For the Panthers.
I thought that was safe. Just by looking at it from this angle, I thought it was safe, but they ruled it as an out. So that puts the ball back into the position for the Panthers.
Absolutely. Through 5, the score, Panthers 12, Bahamas 5. We'll head to the top of the 6th after this. So to lead off the top half of the 6th, Azzy Lopez. Azzy is 1 for 3 with a single back in the 3rd. And the first pitch taken for a ball.
He's being aggressive and very late on.
That ball is driven the other way, but caught by the right fielder. That's going to be out number 1. A quick out for the Bahamas. They need 2 more of those.
I haven't seen really any of those throughout this entire game. Any really quick outs.
Hopefully the Bahamas can keep that going and quickly get back in the dugout for the bottom of the 6th. So now up to the box, Anderson Makos. Anderson is 1 for 3 today with a single back in the 4th.
So what do you do if you're the Bahamas? You're at the top of the 6th, you got the bottom left, and then you got the whole 7th. So you don't got a lot of time left, and you're still down by 7. So, I mean, we saw it last game, we saw this game, where you could get a string of just runs going nonstop. But Bahamas, they've gotten 3 in 1 inning, but other than that, they've been kind of sporadic in terms of the runs they've been able to get. They haven't been able to generate them the same way the Panthers have. So what do you do if you're the Bahamas?
Well, I think it's simple. You got to start one at bat at a time. Right now, they have to focus on the batter at hand. They have to get an out. They have to get the next batter out, and then they can worry about scoring runs. You can't score runs if you're not hitting. So for the Bahamas, they got to get out of this inning. They got to have a clean 7th inning, and they'll have 6 outs to put 7 runs on the board to try to tie this one up. But a walk here to Anderson Matos is not a good start for the Bahamas, as they'll now face George Gonzalez. George is 1 for 2 with a base hit, a ground out, and a walk in the 4th. But going back to what I said, Armani, the Bahamas, they need quick innings. They need a quick inning here in the 6th. They need a quick inning in the 7th. They need runners on in the bottom halves of both innings. You can't score a 7-run home run. You can't hit a 7-run home run. You have to chip away. And in order to do that, you need runners on. You need to work good counts. And you need to play good team baseball in order to get the motivation to swing back their way. So it's going to be an uphill battle for the Bahamas. But if any team could do it, it's them. They have great speed. They have great bats. And they need to start chipping away at this game.
I like the plan that they had in the previous inning, where just get a bunch of balls, get a bunch of walks, just load up the bases that way, and then make aggressive plays towards the end when you know you have at least one guy, you know at least you have somebody on third base. I like that strategy because at the very least you can maximize the opportunity to score runs as much as possible.
So the pitch to Gonzalez, swung on, miss, the throw to second, not in time. Looks like a hit and run was on there, but Matos is able to advance safely on the throw. There's now a runner on second with 1 out for the Panthers. And it looks like that'll be strike 3. Not sure what Gonzalez was doing there. Maybe he was unaware of the amount of strikes. But that's going to be a strikeout in the book. And now there's 2 outs. 2 man on second for Aaron Chavarria.
Well, you talked about it. They needed quick innings, and so far they just need one more out, and then they're out of the top. So they're getting what they need.
That they are, but they need one more to finish off this inning. And that wild pitch is going to advance. It's going to advance Matos to third. Chavarria, the batter. We're going to have time called. And the home plate umpire is going to warn both sides. Looks like the home plate umpire warned the Panthers dugout. I'm assuming some smack talk is going on between the two teams.
Oh, you're going to get that in any sport, just a smack talk nonstop, though. I will say, to get the umpire to finally say something is, they must be saying something.
And we're going to have another break here in the action. As the umpire is doing a good job of controlling all of this. So we're ready. The pitch. That's a ball thrown back. And terrible piece of base running there by Anderson Matos as he's going to get thrown out. And the talking continues. We're going to go to the bottom of the 6th, though, ladies. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the bottom of the 6th. Time's a ticking for the Bahamas. They're down 12-5. Dwayne Mackey will be the first to the plate for the Bahamas here in the bottom of the 6th. Looking to get something going. That pitch taken for ball 1. The 1-0 is swung on in the air. That ball is going, gone! A home run for Dwayne Mackey.
Now that is what they needed. And this late into the game also, I mean, that was incredible. We have seen, I think that's only our second home run we've seen all night, including both games. And that is something that they definitely needed 100%. Look at the team. I mean, they're just out here. They're celebrating. I mean, you know they're excited. And you know that has to be a game changer for them now.
So following the big home run from Dwayne Mackey, Darren Russell will step to the plate, hoping to keep this good luck going for the Bahamas. It's now 12-6. And again, I will repeat one more time. The last, Evan Mobley is now up to the plate as he's quickly ahead in the count 2-0. 2 quick balls by Ronaldinho. Ronald is set and he deals the pitch. That's a strike. So Ronaldinho looking to get back on track here. The count's now 2-1 to Mobley. And the pitch. That's going to get away. It's 3-1. And the 3-1 is going to be taken for a strike. Mobley disagrees with the home plate umpire. But a strike nonetheless. The count's 3-2. So the 3-2 swung on. That's going to fall. A base hit for the Bahamas. And they get another man on board. Mobley with the 2-strike base hit.
Bahamas are taking advantage of every situation they got right now. After that home run, they'll turn this game around.
Well, they'll be dealt the task of facing a new pitcher. Louis Martinez is going to pull his reliever, Ronaldinho, out of the game. And we'll have a new pitcher for the Panthers. It'll be number 10 of the Panthers. That's Nate Sanchez. Again, Nate Sanchez is the pitcher. We'll be back after this. And ladies and gentlemen, the pitcher, Nate Sanchez, is set. There's a run on first. One man on, no one out. And up to the box is Jason Moss. Moss is 0 for 1 today with a walk back in the fourth. The pitch, that's going to be ball one. And you're starting to get the sense, ladies and gentlemen, that this once again is a ball game. We are far from over here at Northeast High School. That one taken for a strike. It counts 1-1. So the 1-1, a pickoff move, but nothing doing over at first. The 1-1. That ball is popped in the air. And that's going to drop. Aaron Chavarria unable to come up with that pop fly.
That could have been a big opportunity there, and they just let
it
drop out of their hands.
Let it drop out of their hands is right, Armani. So now the count's 1-2 to Jason Moss. Still a runner on first and nobody out for the Bahamas. The 1-2, swung on and missed, struck him out.
Well, it looks like they redeemed themselves by getting that strikeout.
Jason Moss down on strikes. The curveball got him. Swung and a miss. So now up to the box, Solomon Grayson. Solomon is 1 for 2 today with a double. As he's set and deals a ground ball. Dive. Throw to first. Way late, but a good job by the shortstop to keep that in the infield and hold Mobley from going to third. So we got runners on first and second with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. Excuse me, the Panthers are trying to argue that there's two, but there should be only one out. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. More disagreement between the umpires and the Panthers bench. For the Bahamas, and we are going to have another break in the action. We are unaware of outs on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're gonna let the guys know there's only one out this inning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready. There is one out this inning. There is one out. And the pitch, that ball's popped up in the air. Going back to right fielder. He's camped under it. Makes the catch. Evan Mobley will reach third. He advances on the tag up. So with two outs here, and runners on the corners, and the pitch, that'll be fouled off. There's two strikes here. Has just tons of confusion this game, ladies and gentlemen.
We're getting towards the end, like I said. you know, it's late at night. We're getting towards the end. We only got one inning left after this, so I mean, maybe they're just trying to speed it up as much as possible. Maybe they're trying to take any opportunity as someone's slipping up. And we've seen a lot of slip-ups in this last inning as well. So maybe that's what they're trying to do. It's trying to play mind games on their opponents.
It's been the story of the night. So there's still 2 strikes here to Malik. As Nate comes set and deals the 2-strike, a curveball taken for a ball, and the count. So Nate sets, deals the 3-2. It's a ball, and the bases are now loaded for the Bahamas.
Bahamas have been doing that pretty good recently. They've been getting the bases loaded with players, even if it's loaded completely, or they're getting someone on third base, and that is the main.
Right, and it looks like Nate Chavarria is feeling the effects of this ball game. It's a long one, as he looks to be tired. So it 2 outs, and the base is loaded. Up to the box, Farron Moss. Farron is 0 for 2 today, but looking to bring home a run with this bases loaded opportunity. The 1-0 taken for a strike, and the count is now 1-1. Folks, we have hit the 3-hour mark on this ball game. The 1-1 blown by Farron Moss. That is strike number 2. This has been a long one.
At length, that you're starting to see it in the players as well. They are tired. They look fatigued. They look like they just want to get this over with. Well, maybe not the Bahamas. I mean, they're down, so, I mean, they got to work through that fatigue.
And it's going to start here with Farron Moss. He swings and misses! And the bases loaded threat has come and gone. The Bahamas only able to put 1 on the board through 6 complete innings. The score is 12-6 in favor of the Panthers. Ladies and gentlemen, we head to the 7th. Right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we head to the top of the 7th. It's the final inning here between the Panthers and the Bahamas. Leading off for the Panthers is Aaron Chavarria. Aaron is 0 for 1 today with 2 walks and a strikeout. And he looks to get this inning started for a Panthers team that's looking to pull off the upset. Panthers are in this game, headed into this game at 9-12. They're the 6th seed. The Bahamas at 12-11 are the 3 seed.
The name of the night just seems like upsets in general, and I don't know if it's just because the top seeds are just not preparing at all. Hopefully, for the sake of the 1st and the 2nd seed, their outcomes aren't the same, but it seems like the top seeds just haven't prepared at all for these bottom seeds. I mean, we saw with the game against the Tide and the Makos. I mean, the Makos just had nothing for the Tide. Bahamas, they've been inching a little closer to the Panthers, but the Panthers have had the measure throughout the entire game, so I mean, hopefully this is a lesson to the number 1 and the number 2 seed. Do not underestimate these bottom seeds because they will come out and they will come out fighting.
And that's playoff baseball for you folks. Anyone can win on any given night on the diamond. Anyways, the count is 1-2 to Chavarria. Looking to stay alive here. The pitch swung on and miss. That's going to be Chavarria's 2nd strikeout of the night. And just like that, the inning starts with a strikeout. 1 out for the Bahamas. So, following the strikeout to Chavarria, batting for the Panthers, Arthur Quinoez. And that ball is hit in the air towards the left fielder, who will get under it and make the catch. That's out number 2 for the Panthers.
Honestly, what do you even do if you're the Panthers? Do you just try to get more runs just to end the game, just solidify? Or do you just try to coast because you know that the Bahamas, they can't really generate the type of run streak that the Panthers were able to do. So I think the Panthers are in a fairly interesting spot. They could coast or they could go aggressive. And I don't think either of them are particularly wrong here because they're basically in the catbird seat, not just for having obviously a 6-run lead, but the Bahamas, like I said, they can't generate a run streak like the Panthers were able to. So the Panthers can really do whatever they want here.
Well, they certainly aren't looking like they're letting off the gas after that swing from Ray Prieto. Ray looked like he wanted to take that fastball and put it into the tennis courts out in the outfield. The 0-1, once again, swung on and missed. That's a big swing from Ray. He's looking to do some damage to one of those baseballs, Armani. Around the league, I just want to announce that Albert Pujols is homering off tonight in the MLB All-Star Game Home Run Derby. And Albert has defeated Kyle Schwarber and will advance to the semifinals. So congratulations to Albert. We're all rooting for you, old man. But back to the Charles Johnson Summer League. Ray Prieto strikes out, and that's going to send us to the bottom of the 7th. The Bahamas will have one last chance against the Panthers. We'll be back after this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the bottom of the 7th. The Bahamas will have one last chance here against the Panthers. They need to put up at least 6 to keep this ball game going. And to start that off for the Bahamas will be Leo Garcia. Leo is 2 for 3 today with 2 base hits and a strikeout. And he quickly swings at the first pitch.
Well, you're seeing what the Bahamas are doing. They need to score points because this is their last shot. I mean, obviously, but they need to score points. They need to make something happen. So I don't even think balls are going to do it now. You have to go and you have to be aggressive now. If you don't, then it's over. Then you're out of the playoffs. Your chances of a championship are gone.
So Leo Garcia is down in the count, 0-1, but he's swinging and he's staying aggressive. The pitch from Nate, that's going to be taken for ball 1. So the 1-1 here. Sanchez is set and he's ready to deal. The 1-1. That ball is fouled away towards the third base dugout. And the count now against Garcia is 1-2. 1-2 count here. And we are set. The 1-2. Curveball! Taken. That's strike number 3. And that strikeout looking.
Time is running out for the Bahamas. I don't like the position they're in right now. They've had momentum come their way, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They have to find a way to string some runs together. I don't know how they're going to do it. They haven't shown the ability to do it at all this entire game, but they need to find a way to do it somehow if they want any shot at overcoming this deficit.
That's right.